So I do have a serious question though, kind of like, how did everyone like figure out about esports? Or like, when did you start gaming? Like, legitimately, that is the question I have.
I was brought on Tier 1 as a caster.
No, like
But how did
esports
you
in
get
I mean,
general.
like
involved?
esports in general. Like, how did you figure out like learn about esports like at all?
Watching Optic Gaming during Call of Duty Advanced Warfare.
That was me.
I never actually really did get involved with really a lot
But
about esports.
when did you start streaming though? Because you streamed
Well,
Ironside.
streaming is not esports.
Well, I mean, it is. Esports is a lot broader than you think, Dino. That includes like all of like gaming entertainment almost. So
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, because streaming is a sport. Like you're trying to be better than the next person.
God bless.
True. Takes a lot of practice.
Everything's
But
competition.
but I mean, just like streaming wise, Dino, because like obviously we didn't meet until you were streaming and casting. You were gonna cast for Ironsight. So when did you like game and stream before then?
Okay, so I got affiliated in March, so that's when I actually was like, okay, streaming is actually going to be a thing, and I went full time into it and decided to put everything into it and figure out what I wanted to do. But when the very first time I pushed the live button on OBS was probably about 2 years ago, but I never had a very consistent schedule. I just streamed. I was like, oh, we're playing games, we're having fun, I might as well let other people watch it. And then it was in March. I was like 3 followers away from the affiliate thing, and it was all like, you can be affiliated, and here's all this. And I was like, all right, bet, let's go.
What games did you play or like play around with streaming and stuff with?
PUBG, GTA, golf with your friends, like stupid shit.
Just whatever.
Just whatever we were playing at the time.
And then PZ, when did you start streaming? Because obviously me and you didn't start talking until you approached Tier 1 Apparel.
Yeah.
When Tier 1 Apparel was first launching.
I've been streaming since what year is this? 2018.
Yes.
Probably 2016. And I always wanted to stream. Like I've wanted to stream ever since I started watching King Ithalian play Destiny 1, and like I realized like how much money he was making just by streaming. Now, obviously, he's like a good exception because he's the biggest Destiny streamer there is. But I was like, man, like you could actually make a very comfortable living by playing video games and being entertaining. And so I always wanted to do that, but where I lived at the time, the internet providers were awful.
Okay.
Perfect.
Is your kid
All right.
dead? Dying? What?
No. Can we edit that out or?
We'll see.
No, we had people come by and like spray our house for bugs and shit because I've noticed some spiders in the house, and she was walking and got her foot stuck on one of the little glue traps and just lost her mind, freaked out. Like there wasn't even anything on it. She was just like, ah! But like I was saying, I wanted to stream after watching King Ithalian, but the internet service providers where I lived were very limited, and the best one was Suddenlink, and the connections were just awful. So I tried streaming then, and it didn't work out, and I moved here where I live now, and the internet was a lot better. So I started streaming Destiny straight from my Xbox. Didn't have a camera or anything, just like, you know, pretty much what Dino said. Like, if I'm going to be playing, I might as well stream, you know. And started playing PlayStation, bought a camera, took it a little bit more seriously, and then once I actually got to where like I consistently, 4 or 5 viewers, people were actually watching and wanting to, talk to me and stuff like that. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna take it a little bit more seriously, and I bought my PC. And since then, I've just bought lights and microphones and all kinds of stuff. So I've been streaming seriously for about a year and a half, but I started streaming about 2 years ago or something like that.
And then you said too, like, you actually watched like competitive esports, like Optic Gaming.
Oh yeah.
And that was what, Advanced Warfare, you said, I think.
Yeah, man. I've obviously been playing Call of Duty since Modern Warfare came out, but like I didn't even know what Twitch was at the time. I didn't realize there was a service where you could watch people play video games, or I probably would have got into it a lot sooner than that. But I remember whenever I first found Twitch, I don't even remember how I found it, but I found it, and Call of Duty was one of the most watched games at the time. And Optics original squad with Nade Shot and Formal, Scumpy, and Crimsix were still together at the time, and I was like that was just the team that was playing. I don't even remember who they were playing at the time. They were playing scrims or something. I started watching and I was like, this is pretty interesting. Like, I play Advanced Warfare. I could watch these guys play Advanced Warfare. And I kept watching and kept watching. Then it got to where they were playing, in tournaments for hundreds of thousands of dollars or millions of dollars or whatever it was. And I was like, people play for how much? Yeah, I thought I could do that. I went and assembled my own GB team, and the GB team that I made on Xbox 360 at the time was actually pretty good. We played GBs, and I mean we were like, I couldn't even tell you the record, but we had a winning record, and we're actually really decent. And
you were like every other kid that discovers it and instantly starts a GB ladder team.
I may have been 20 years old.
Sorry, 20 year old kid. Don't worry.
Yeah. I had children, but that's besides the point.
At 20.
But I was me and my brother-in-law, which is coincidentally my best friend. He and I were playing together. We played in we were in a clan on Ghosts, and then it went on from Ghosts to Advanced Warfare, and then that's whenever I picked up on competitive gaming and was like, yo, we should make a competitive team. So I made a Twitter, paid for graphics, super seriously, and we assembled a team, a GB team, and started playing under that name. I don't even remember what the name was anymore because it was so long ago, but we picked up a young kid out of Georgia and another kid out of Oklahoma, and we started grinding. We didn't play pubs anymore after that. Once we figured out that there was a scene to play competitively and win money in, we left the clan that we were playing in and was like, yo, y'all go play hardcore team deathmatch by yourself. We try to go win some money. And so we did that for a while, just to come to find out that every 14-year-old that has an Xbox controller was better than we were, and we stopped playing.
I came from Xbox 360 as well.
Yeah,
I went
definitely
from Xbox 360 to Xbox One to PlayStation 4 to PC finally.
I don't have
never
an
went to
next gen.
PlayStation.
Actually, I started way below that through my dad. I started on the Game Boy.
GameCube?
GameCube.
I had
I had a GameCube.
I had
and
Nintendo 64, GameCube, and I had all that.
I had an Atari and a Dreamcast too.
Yeah,
I was in the house.
I played Dreamcast. Yep.
Yeah. So
God.
started there.
I was actually alive when Dreamcast came out. My first console I ever had. I'll never forget my first console I ever had. I was so upset with my mother because I asked her for a Sega Genesis because my aunt had a Sega Genesis and I used to play Sonic the Hedgehog on it all the time. Asked my mom for a Sega Genesis, and instead she bought me a Super Nintendo with Super Mario Brothers 3, I think, Jurassic Park game, because at the time Jurassic Park was my favorite thing to watch, and some other game. And that's what sparked gaming for me. I've been playing video games since 1990. Wait a minute. 1997.
Way past me.
Yeah, I was literally born in '98, so
I've been playing video games for a long time.
102. Shoot.
2000s kid. Oh no.
I
Who
feel like
invited
Dr.
him? Get
Evil
him
here.
out of here. 2000s kid.
I feel like Dr. Evil just sitting here.
Mr. Bigglesworth.
Wow. Crazy.
But yeah, I was pretty much the same way. Played PlayStation 2 and stuff as a kid, but then 360. We got Xbox Live with 360 for my birthday one day, and I was just like, holy shit, this is amazing. And I remember playing one of the first things I played was Modern Warfare 2 online, and then Call of Duty World at War Zombies.
Yup.
What the fuck are you doing, Pete?
Oh, somebody came into the streaming room.
Yeah. Well, anyway, World at War Zombies was my go-to when I first got Xbox Live, and I thought that was so cool. So I just remember grinding that, and then I played a lot of sports, so I didn't really play video games all that much anymore. And then similar to Peasy, I think it was Black Ops 2, watching Nade Shot and the rest of the Optic squad go against teams like Farico Impact and FaZe and stuff like that. And so it was pretty much Nade Shot almost all on his own because I'd watch his YouTube videos and I'd watch their events and their scrimmages, and so that was pretty much like what kickstarted esports. And then I kind of did the same thing. We had a GB ladder team, played in GB tournaments and stuff like that for fun, but I was never that good at COD. And then but I wanted to do competitive in a game, like, cause I was pretty much in high school at that point. So like all through high school, I was like, I want to like play a game competitively, and I didn't know what to do it in though. And I think that was like when Battlefield 4 had just come out, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna do Battlefield 4. Like EA Sports is always talking about how they were gonna introduce like an esports scene, and little did I know, like they weren't really gonna like, they never really did that. It was just all rumors and talk for years. But so I tried with Battlefield 4. There was like a small competitive scene, obviously like nothing big because we all thought there was gonna be something big. So it was like 6 months of grinding for Battlefield 4, thinking that something was gonna happen, and then nothing ever did. And then I saw the trailer for Rainbow Six Siege because it was about that time of year where like, you know, you see all the game trailers start coming out and stuff. And I remember seeing the trailer for Rainbow Six Siege, and I was like, damn, like this is the one. Like this is what I need to go. Like I could see it being competitive already, like without it being announced, because it was, you know, 5-on-5 tactical squad based gameplay. I was like, that's like the game like I have to go with. And Rainbow didn't have a previous title for 10 years, so there wasn't a standing pro scene. So I thought it would be a lot easier to get into like right away if you know, hit it from day one. And then so when Rainbow came out, literally day one, played GBs, got smoked by some EU team that was already like 30-1. And little did I know those dudes would go on to be like some of the most well-known pro EU players to ever touch Rainbow. But yeah, literally since day one was involved with Rainbow on Xbox and played during the whole full year that Pro League was there, and kind of bounced around like the semi-pro scene because I was 17 throughout most of it, and you had to be 18 to be in Pro League because it was ran by ESL. And so I'd gotten a chance to play for a pro team, but I was underage, so I would just basically substitute for scrims. And then so I just kind of bounced around the semi-pro scene, playing in their weekly tournaments and stuff. I still have a GB record. I haven't touched GB for that game in like over 2.5 years, and I still have like, I'm still ranked like top 64 or something, and I haven't touched it in forever. And then Pro League left Rainbow, and I stayed around a little bit, and they had a league called the Major League, and it was essentially like a semi-pro, like played online, you know, no LAN event or anything, but it was for $5,000 each season. So then I played for that, mostly for fun. I didn't take it as serious as like when Pro League was around, obviously, because like when Pro League's around, like that's what everybody wants. You know, same thing with like COD, like you want to get into CWL. So then so we played in majors. I ended up placing third place in 2 out of the 3 seasons it was there. I didn't play for season 3 because that was when I actually got the PC. And then I just played in some like third-party leagues and stuff like that. But Rainbow was like the first game that I took super serious and like built a reputation around, I guess, and networked with a lot of people. And then that's actually how Tier 1 was started, was through Rainbow and the experience of like playing under orgs. And a lot of the people, you know, Gara, used to team with him. He used to be like my right-hand man on one of the teams that we were on. So we had met a lot of people, a lot of org owners, a lot of people with experience in things like leagues, and so we knew what we wanted to do with Tier 1, and that's how we started it.
Well,
Yeah.
for me, let's take all of you guys' experiences with like wanting to play competitively and like inch that back a ton of years. So I started off kind of playing like Minecraft and stuff with my friends, and mind you, I'm literally in like elementary school, middle school, trying to make YouTube videos on Minecraft. And
Yeah, I think
for
we've
a
all
while,
been there.
yeah, we all wanted to be like professional survival games. PC's like, no. We all
I
wanted
mean,
to be
like what I mean
professional
is
survival
like
games
old,
players.
you know, when we're younger and you're like, oh, I'm gonna be a YouTuber. You're like 13 years
Yeah.
old. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that was what I
That was
wanted to do. I
before
was
we
like, I
realized
love
what
this.
Twitch was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Before I figured out what that was, because I love entertaining people and I love just having fun with my friends. So we do that, and then I wanted to be like a professional survival games player because I, for some reason, thought that that was gonna happen. Um, and then it kind of grew to playing Call of Duty more often. Then I started playing on PC, and I met these guys who streamed because I was looking for people more towards my age to stream with, and we somehow found CS:GO, and like that was the first game I ever took really seriously. And we actually had a team. We were gonna start playing in some leagues and stuff like that. Um, I started streaming. They were streaming. We were playing so much. We were actually getting so good at that. We got up to like this is like all before like that whole like the I think the largest rank change happened. I kind of skipped a lot of my story, but um, we played that a lot. And then I found like there was something on one of the loading screens like, oh, this tournament, this that, and I was like, holy crap, hold on, that's like legit esports. But I guess I found like Call of Duty before that, but CS:GO showed me like real esports, what that was about. Um, a little bit before then, I was watching like did you guys ever watch like FaZe and stuff
Yeah.
like that?
Yeah.
I watched FaZe Tico's Cooking with FaZe Clan video, and that kind of put me on to that. And as I watched that more often, that kind of put me on to more of YouTube and Twitch and streaming like that. And then I think I watched what was it? I think it was Nade Shot's video or Big Timer's video of whatever it was when they were in the 6050 Russell Drive house,
Yeah.
and they dumped the water on somebody from the top balcony. And from there, I want to say like this was in like Advanced Warfare or something. Then I started following Optic because those guys were hilarious, and I started watching that. And then it was kind of like a culmination of it all just hitting me, and all became like a big mesh. And I don't know why. I didn't like traditional sports like that because I was never really like the athletic kid. I was always like the kid who who was smart and did his book work, but I always loved playing video games. So I figured, if I can mix my passion of video games plus, competing, that'd be great. But I was never that kind of good person. My parents were like, yeah, if you don't get your schoolwork done, you can't, play video games. So I never really had the time to get good and stuff like that.
Peasy.
So my dad was essentially he's over here like,
Hang on.
okay,
Say hi.
hello.
She can't hear, can she? Oh, can she?
Hang on. Hang on. Put this on.
She don't know what's going on. She hit her head on the mic.
That's where you talk.
Talk?
Yeah.
I like talk.
You like to talk, yeah, I know.
Tap it. It's working.
What's it?
That's a microphone.
Microphone? Microphone.
Microphone?
Microphone.
Mikey Mo?
I don't know what he said.
I
He's
told him
muted, yeah.
about his
Yeah.
wife. Should I continue or wait?
Yeah. Just keep going.
All right. So where was that? Where was that? I actually forgot.
I don't know, but I just know like what you're talking about with like the team houses and stuff between like Optic and all that. That was the same kind
Yeah.
of thing as like YouTube, just seeing all that. That was super cool and like.
Yeah, I love that. I used to want to do that, honestly. I had like a group of friends and we were all convinced that we weren't where they, because I knew I was gonna go to college. So I'd seen like no other option of doing anything else. So we were like, yeah, I'm gonna go to college, but I'm gonna live off campus, and we're all gonna live like somewhere in Atlanta, or something like that. And we're gonna get a house, and we're gonna make YouTube videos, and we're gonna stream, and then we're gonna make a team, and then we're gonna become famous. But this is like legitimately 12, 13-year-olds making this plan. And we're sitting here thinking we're gonna be the biggest things on YouTube because we were watching a lot of like Tim the Tap Man. At the time, my favorite team was Cloud9 with Shroud, Freakazoid, Nothing, Sean Gares, and Skadoodle. Those guys were like the epitome of like I guess my esports like love, because I didn't really know COD like that because I decided to take a break. 'Cause that's when COD started going downhill, of course. And it was just hilarious because thinking back on it, we were just a bunch of like little kids.
Yeah, it's like
Kinda
every
make
teenager's
up
dream,
something.
right? Be in a house full of all your buddies and just like
Yeah.
make YouTube videos and play video games. So that's like every teenager's dream.
I mean, we had
Yeah.
this conversation a couple months ago.
Oh yeah, I mean like within esports, it's a smart move, right? Because like if you're creating content, you're making money off content, then like you surround yourself with the other content creators you're working with. You're just like you're around that hustle all the time, and you're in that environment, and you're able to make content a lot easier.
Yeah, that's something we thought we would do because I don't know how we did this. We literally had it down to a science. We thought we were gonna live in like a big house. We are gonna all record podcasts. We are gonna do stuff like all together. Back before like podcasts were like a big thing, I guess when they were kind of cliche. But then we scrapped that idea because it wasn't. And we just thought we were gonna be like the biggest, baddest guys on the block. And then
Peasy's gone. We're now talking to his child. Welcome to the
Yeah.
podcast.
welcome to the podcast. We'd like to welcome you on to tier 1. Would you like to sign a contract?
She less than 100.
You might
Hey,
cut out.
stop pushing buttons. You're muting my mic. She said, "Hey, stop." She'll set her for no less than 100,000 a year.
Whoa. I don't even think Chandler's making that.
Yeah, not yet.
Not yet. Yeah.
All right. Well, Lydia, tell them you're out. Say I'm out.
She said, "No, I got a booger. Hold on."
She gets that on us.
Yeah. Yeah, I miss like the good old days in esports. Oh man, I miss like the
Taking
good
over
old days in
our
esports
podcast,
when
go away.
everyone was like just kind of honest and chill about everything. Now everything is like, it's like I don't even know how to explain it anymore. You pick up on the smallest things and it becomes drama.
Well, the thing is, a lot of people have egos. You have a lot of people that are halfway decent at a video game, and they think they deserve money because of it. And that's not how it works.
Yeah, pointing any fingers.
She's trying so hard to get involved.
Yeah. Look at Ben. Ben's like, I don't get paid enough to get scare children, you know. Is this whole entire podcast gonna
It's just
turn
gonna
into
be
Peasy
watching her.
making fun of this child?
Seeing what she's
Yeah.
doing. This is the most Peasy's interacted with his kids in forever. He's always playing video games.
Jeez. It's good to know we have a great father figure here.
Everybody loves children.
That is true. We can milk the views out of this.
People are gonna tune into this podcast just to watch kids.
Oh yeah,
So listen, you guys, y'all need to have some children.
That
Nah,
shows family-friendly content.
Hella
Dino.
productive around tax time, dude.
Dinah, I think that's up to you. That's a no around here, dog.
That's a hard no, my guy.
Fine, I'll
Hey,
have
you
all
can
the
get
tier
some
1
milk
babies
action.
around here.
Yeah, sure, that works.
Hey, don't break it.
Okay, I got one for you, Dino, actually, because this is what I've been wanting to talk about. Anyway, is because we were talking about it earlier. Titty streamers, right?
Oh my god.
So, I mean, it kind of goes into that. So, like, when you started streaming, was that like you being a chick? Has that like helped? Like, has it been weird? Like,
Oh,
what's been your
obviously.
experience with it?
All of the above. Like, I get guys in my chat all the time to say the most ludicrous stuff that you could ever freaking see. If you thought, like, locker room or kitchen talk was bad, man, some of the shit that I find in my chat is actually hilarious. But
Dang.
has it helped my channel grow? Obviously. Like, I'm almost at 1,000 followers already, and I've been streaming actually streaming less than a year.
Yeah.
But if I'm not the perfect type for somebody, they're definitely for sure gonna tell me about it.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? They come in there because they see a girl on the Twitch page, right? So they come in there, they see a girl, so that's like, you know, clickbait in a way. And then they come in there, but they're only in there for a minute, right? They'll say something stupid or whatever, and then they're gone, and then that viewership's lost. So it's like, I think a lot of people... I don't even know what she said. But...
Neither did I. But like the other night, I was streaming Minecraft, and
Oh no.
yeah, I got you look like a right kinky slut.
Nice.
Whoa.
I'm like,
Okay.
okay.
And you're over here in long
I
sleeves.
think I was wearing a crew neck and like a sweater. I was like,
Okay.
okay.
Yeah, there's some weirdos. That comes with the internet, but yeah, I think I think a lot of dudes are like, oh, well, you're a girl, like you got all the advantages, like that's how you get your viewership, and it's like I don't think a lot of people realize that for the chicks that are actually like
It's
gaming.
actually a lot harder for
Yeah,
us.
the chicks that are
Yeah.
actually gaming and actually like making content and trying to like do something serious with it. It's like those 5-minute viewers that come in to say something or like, click on your channel because they saw that you were a girl on the Twitch page, like they're gone like after 5 minutes. So it's not like you're building a viewership or a fan base over being a girl.
Well, and
Hey, real
even
quick.
like I was
Is that loud? Like, can y'all hear that?
No.
no.
Oh, okay, cool.
But like even as I was saying earlier, it's like I have some shirts that are low cut and I have worn them on stream, but not because I was streaming. Like it's
Yeah.
just what I was wearing that day. Like I don't do anything special to change what I'm wearing except for like maybe get out of my pajamas for when I go to stream. But like I'm always wearing pants, I'm always wearing a jacket or having my shoulders or whatever covered. Like I'm not
You're not on the bikini stream trend.
Yeah. That's what like, I don't understand. Like, I mean, even being like a young guy, I don't understand why like people want to just do that to get views and stuff like that. Because you're ultimately hurting the community as a whole, especially like the female gaming community, because you're just making it much harder on the next person because if they're not wearing a bikini, they're not wearing almost no clothes. It makes it really hard for that person to grow, and it's like I know it must get like so frustrating for people coming in there and like just saying all these. I'm searching for a word I can't think of. It's like
derogatory.
All
degrading
this
things,
raunchy
derogatory and
shit.
degrading things. Yeah,
Thirsty. Thirsty neckbeards.
Honestly.
Yeah, thirsty neckbeards and 14-year-olds.
honestly, Jesus.
Yeah, and
But,
I mean
yeah.
that comes with streaming, right? Because internet, people are gonna do whatever, and
You're always gonna have haters no matter what you do. You're gonna have people who hate you because you're growing twice as fast as them. You're gonna have people
Peasy.
hate you because of the way that the way that you look. If you wear glasses, what color your hair is, like literally
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, I remember I used to get crap all the time because I was a young guy, and then it didn't help that my gamer tag was exotic games. So come in and make jokes. Did you dance? I said, if you throw a 10 my way, maybe, but just
You
no,
just, yeah,
no.
exactly that. You
Pull
just
a-
gotta live with it.
pull a Zoe burger and start twerking for 10s and
Oh,
20s.
God. Yeah, it's one thing I hope the community gets over, and I think that it's working towards that, especially
It's
like with the help of. You don't think it's gonna go away?
No, it's never not gonna be a thing. Like
Yeah, I mean,
if you look at some of the top streamers right now, I'm not gonna say name, but there is a streamer who does literally in booty shorts and a crop top.
Can you link it?
Sorry, so you're married.
And
Drop
she
the link,
does
dog.
Just Dance. She does like she has a full green screen where she can stand and you can see her entire body. Just Dance, and she's not good at it either. It's
He's
actually
searching this shit
hilarious.
up.
I was hopeful. I was just like, we're getting better. It's
It's
becoming
like,
more of a
hey,
normal
hey,
thing.
honey,
Like,
I'll be
The
coming to
fact
bed
is,
late.
she's
Just
in
I'll be
booty
in here a
shorts
little
and
longer.
crop top. She's over 3,000 viewers every single time,
Yeah,
for streaming,
and
just
her
You know
subs
why?
get Snapchat. Like
yeah.
Never mind. I'm not gonna say why.
Oh,
Say it.
No, it could no.
I mean, we can cut it out.
I was just gonna say it's cheaper to subscribe to somebody than it is to pay for like a porn subscription. That's all I'm saying. I mean, if you can get the same thing for less money,
Same
I mean, if you're paying,
That's
for
why people
porn,
are
I'm
doing
sorry.
it.
yeah. If you're
I
paying,
mean, I don't-
that's
I-
not a good thing.
Rural.
I mean, I was thinking it's gonna become more of a normal thing to have female gamers and stuff because of the help of like Optic Midnight, and I felt it was going in the right direction. I hate to like name drop Optic so much, but they're such a pioneer in America. They're like, like such a model org with their I don't what was that?
Man,
Their Brazil CS:GO team. I was
Yeah.
hoping that it would become more normalized so that people would stop like.
Well, video games became mainstream, right? Like, before
Yeah.
it used to be like, what all the 13-year-old dudes. Dino, you good over there?
Dying. I didn't even see what happened. Honestly, I was looking at.
It
the
was
side.
funny. It wasn't that funny. God,
hey, I'm that funny.
I don't
Yeah,
know
that
about that. You got
Don't get
Christmas
it
lights.
twisted.
You got Christmas lights on your
Sorry.
mic too.
Can
Yeah. Well, see, like, I put them all around the room. Sam, you gonna be all right, bro?
He's dying. Do you need an inhaler or something? I think I got you. Oh no, I don't have it around me. Oops.
Need some albuterol?
I got mine somewhere in this room.
But I put these lights up, and it was like each strand was like 38 feet
She
of
had to
lights.
get up.
And my,
She's gone. She had to go.
all I did was make a fuss, bro.
It wasn't that much.
Oh jeez.
She just be an extra. Anyway, I put these lights up, and then after I ran them all the way around my room, I realized I had like 18 extra feet of light left. I was like, well, gotta do something with it. So, well, hang
I
on.
just stuffed mine in my closet, so it's lighting
So,
my
like,
closet.
and then it just goes up and around. Hang on, there go LeBron. Look,
Oh my
LeBron,
God.
say something to him. Hang on, LeBron.
You're that dude with a full
I'm that-
size
I'm that
cardboard
guy.
cutout.
And he's got a PBR headband on. You might not be able to see it. But see, I
It
just
was
ran the
just
lights
so
around.
unexpected. It just caught me so off guard.
Wow. Speaking of that, like, how do you guys feel about like decorating setups with like Christmas lights and stuff like that, like with lighting?
You're
Are you
all a
guys
bunch of white
Obviously, I'm
girls.
with it.
Whoa. I happen to love my Christmas lighting. It stays up 24/7. Actually.
Not what I thought you were gonna say.
No.
Well, see, I always run a green screen, so I don't get to decorate behind.
Oh, that's unfortunate. I
Better
went
than
that
everybody
whole
else.
phase.
I got it.
Literally, this setup cost me $14, so don't even at me.
My
Hey,
dad was gonna. I
hang
used to
on.
use a bed sheet for my green screen way back when.
$4.87.
The only reason why I threw this blanket up because I don't want you to see how janky this green screen is.
$4.87.
No secrets given up.
Oh God, I can't.
No
That
brand.
Four
fucking
eighty-
killed me.
So you spent
Oh.
more than she did on posters.
On better decoration. That's what I'm saying. Like, spend an
What do
extra
you-
$2.
Yeah, but there's
That's
not a
a
square of the stream cutout.
True.
Yeah, I know that adds character. Okay.
That leads me into like a question I've had for a while. What do you guys think about like the background of a streamer? Do you think if you like it, you will pull more viewers if you have like an open background or like a green screen?
It depends.
Or do you think it's like more
Realistically-
appealing to a viewer? Like what do you think is more appealing to a viewer, like a regular background or a green screen?
It's like I had this discussion with somebody at work the other day because they were like, "Why don't you use a green?" Everybody that I work with watches my streams because we're all childish and play video games. So they're like, "Why don't you use a green screen?" I was like, "Because that's me personally. Like I like having my nerdy shit in the background. Like if you knew what trouble I had to go through to get this poster, I almost had to fight 3 Walmart employees to get this poster, right? Because it was the last one of the world-renowned Heath Ledger Joker, and it was in the like display of posters, and I sifted through all 280 posters they had in the fucking display, and they didn't have any of the Joker ones, right? I was like, I have to have this one. I'm not leaving without it. And I was like, well, I'm gonna go find an employee, and I found one, and I was like, hey man, I need you to take this poster out of this like holder thing and give it to me so I could go buy it. I was like, I don't think I could do that. I was like, I don't think you understood. I wasn't asking you to. Like, I will take it out myself if I have to, but I'm leaving with this poster. And he's like, well, I need to go get my manager. Sounds like a good idea. He went and got his manager, and I made it very clear to the manager. I was like, okay, like the last guy, I thought I was asking him to take this out. Before you guys try to arrest me for shoplifting, I'm taking this poster. He's like, no, dude, it's not that serious. Just like, give me a second and I'll take it out. And so he did. And this is like the centerpiece of my stream setup, right? Because he's my hero.
Weird
But
flex,
you sit right
but
in front of
okay.
it though. Yeah.
Stop
Actually,
being
no.
Twitter.
Stop
No.
being-
I have a better one for you. Preposterous boast, but alas.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Wait. Oh, yeah, no, I saw that. Okay, I thought you were
Oh,
saying
dang.
like something
Thought I
else.
knew. No,
Wow.
no.
Way to be behind on the times, dude. We're up on
I
Twitter.
just saw it like yesterday, this morning, man.
No, bro. We see that shit and we remember it. We see everything on Twitter. Tier 1 is on top of Twitter.
Yeah,
Of course.
that's basically all I do.
Esports GG on Twitter.
Yeah, it's basically
Sweet
all I'm
plug.
doing is sitting there scrolling through Twitter half the day.
I remember there was a
That's what I
time when
do
I
all the
thought
time.
Twitter was the most useless social media ever. And now I find
Twitter is
myself
not my Facebook.
Now you can't get off
Yeah.
Twitter. Yeah.
like
I
I'm
used
two
to not
different
like Twitter.
I'm two different people on like Twitter is for
Facebook
my
and
video
Twitter is two
gaming
different people,
and like
yeah.
like my Twitter is my video game and like nerdy like side that I don't let Facebook see. Like on Facebook I have a certain image I have to uphold, right?
Oh
Like
my
I'm a certified meme master. So I post one of two things. Funny statuses, funny memes. That's it. That's all I
Or
post.
jumping off the map on Blackout.
That
Uh,
does not go on Facebook. That goes on Twitter.
That
with all the
Didn't go
nerdy
on
shit.
Facebook.
They did go on
Exactly.
Twitter.
Yeah, no, that's what he's
It went on
saying.
Twitter, not on
He
Facebook.
doesn't. Yeah,
Yeah.
he doesn't post stuff like that on Facebook.
Yeah, because that shit would get hits on Twitter. But like if I posted that on Facebook,
Yeah.
I'm friends with a bunch of people that I went to high school with that don't know what Twitch is,
Yeah.
think that video games is a fucking waste of time. I'm like, hey, bro, I made more this year playing video games than your baby daddy made in child support payments. That's all I'm saying. Like,
Oh my goodness.
Well, and you got
Wow.
to think about it too, because that's another topic that we can talk about. Is like having to explain the internet and Twitch and streaming to people outside of
Oh,
Twitch.
nobody gets it. Like
Yeah.
nobody
I work,
fucking gets
I work
it.
with a 70-year-old guy, right? This man, like, he has a smartphone that he doesn't even know how to turn the ringer off on. He came to me one day, and was like, my phone won't ring. I was like, Marty, it's an iPhone, like, bro, you just, boom, done. It's on full volume right now. But I explained to him, like, me and some of the guys that I work with were talking about streaming, and he's like, what are you talking about? I was like, I stream my video game gameplay live to an audience on the internet. And he was like, hang on, I gotta turn this on. This fucking shit's. Ooh, never mind. Oh,
He said,
right. But
Hard pass.
yeah, he's like, I don't under, like it, none of what I streaming video games live to an audience. No part of that made sense to him.
No,
It's like-
my grandmother.
Like he doesn't use Facebook, doesn't do nothing. He's like, I don't know what that means. He's like,
Yeah.
okay, Marty. So what I do is I play video games, right? While I'm playing video games live, there's a camera of me, like in real time, where people can see me and watch me play video games. He's like,
and people watch
That's
you.
yeah, he's like, that's fucking stupid. Like, who does
Why
that?
would
I was like,
why
well,
would people watch you? Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, well, I don't know if you've ever heard of a guy named Ninja, but he made like $7 trillion last year by playing Fortnite. So, like, that's why I do it. And he was like, but do people like watch you? Do you make money? I was like, a little bit, not a lot, but I do. I make more money by playing video games while I stream than I did before I started streaming. So
Yeah.
if it's something and that's what I explained to him. I was like, if it's something I'm already gonna do, like I've been doing it for fucking 20 years, I might as well make money by playing it, or make money by doing it. And so I had to explain the whole process to him, and that helped me explain it to like other people that have no concept. Like I've got friends that are my age that think video games are a waste of time. If you're like, hey, you ever play Fortnite? They're like, I got better shit. And like, that's fine. That's how you spend your time. I spend my time by playing video games, with the hopes of one day like quitting selling furniture to just sit here and play video games all day.
Yeah.
Probably not gonna happen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be
Like,
the
I
dream.
have like the hardest time trying to explain to my teacher now what esports and like the potential of video games are, because she's trying to tell me like what I should do with my life and how I should go about it, and she tried to grasp the whole idea of streaming, YouTube, esports, but she tried to relate it to too much of a traditional business model when really it's not, because she doesn't understand that esports is in a way a culture of following trends but at the same time setting your own trends. And like she doesn't understand that, you know, sitting in front of a camera and pretty much like conforming for a little bit is what you do.
Well, I mean,
And
think
it's
about
just
it.
something that
Think
goes
about it
up.
this way: like when the first TV came out, nobody watched fucking TV. Nobody understood the concept of TV. Nobody understood the concept of watching somebody at home on their TV screen, and like, you know, there was no concept of TV shows, of movies, of, you know, none of that shit was even imaginable. Like they didn't even think about that. So like people thought it was stupid. And then, you know, you go to like the internet, like the concept of the internet, like nobody could grasp that concept. Smartphones, same thing. It takes pioneers to like get into that and normalize it and like, you know, show how it's useful. And I think somebody who like always talks about it perfectly, or well, like social media and stuff like that, because esports is where it's at because of social media, right? You have your typical social media pages like, or platforms like Facebook and Twitter and you know, Snapchat and stuff like that creators use to put out content on. And then you also have like your streaming platforms like Twitch and stuff like that, and it's all brought together through social media. Well, Gary Vee always talks about it. I don't know if you guys have like watched anything from
Oh yeah,
Gary
I love
Vaynerchuk,
Gary Vee.
but like that's what he talks about. He's, you know, he preaches that to people, to all these companies that have done TV ads for 37 years and they've never once ran an Instagram ad. And he's like, look, you can spend $37 on this Instagram ad and get the same amount of traffic as spending $74,000 on this TV campaign that you've been doing all year. And you're going to reach like a more active, interactive demographic that you can specifically target your audience. And that's what video game creators take advantage of, is because they know how to work social media, and it's a new concept still, and they know how to target their audience, which is the younger social media users. So
Yeah.
And if you think about it on a bigger scale, esports is no different. Like explaining esports is no different than explaining basketball. So you got a board of investors that own a basketball team. They pay 5 players to play a sport and win championships, which earns them revenue through ticket sales and through merchandise sales and things like that. Where in esports, it's exactly the same way. If you sell out, I'm most familiar in esports with Call of Duty. That's pretty much all I've ever followed esports wise, and a little bit of Overwatch. But Overwatch, for example, is actually a perfect example because
they're franchising.
They have one of the biggest prize pools in esports history, and the way that they're able to do that is by, like you said, franchising. So teams will pay for entries into tournaments and stuff like that, and it's exactly the same way. You buy, if you want to start a new franchise, if in Arkansas there's not a basketball franchise, if you wanted to start a new basketball franchise, you'd have to front so much money, to the NBA to start the team, and then you'd have to pay players to play for you, and that's how it works. Well, esports is no different. If you wanted to start a new esports franchise, you have to buy the franchise, then you're going to have to find some players, and hopefully those players will win and bring in revenue based off of now, like Chandler said, with social media being the main outlet for marketing and things like that. You'll have to hope that those players bring revenue by winning and people want to watch them. I mean, 100 Thieves is a perfect example because they just started 2 years ago when Nate Shot decided he wanted to leave Optic and do his own thing, and now it's one of the biggest esports franchises there is. It's like number 9 in the most valuable franchises list.
And that was before the investment of Drake.
Drake and whoever the other guy was.
I'd like to everyone to really recognize how big of an impact social media has on it, because when you think about it, if it wasn't for social media like Twitter and stuff like that, Drake probably wouldn't have gotten in contact with Ninja, then he wouldn't have gotten involved with esports in general, and the 100 Thieves thing probably would never happen. Like for anyone aspiring to be a big YouTuber or Twitch streamer or anything in the esports gaming entertainment space, you got to understand social media is the epitome of it all.
Well, that's the thing with social media is that you're not speaking to the broad world anymore. You can, as a person, as a creator, even athletes, going back to relating it to sports, Juju Smith-Schuster from the Steelers, he is super into gaming, right? And he's been super into gaming. He's collabed with Ninja and pretty much any top tier Fortnite streamer. He's played and collabed with him, and he's just he understands that concept. And you can take people like that, and they use things like Snapchat and Twitter, and they don't have to they no longer have to use these press agencies to speak directly to their viewers and their fan base. So Juju can now unfiltered take his phone and send out tweets or live stream him at the field or play in video games and speak directly to his fan base. And that's what social media does, is it takes out that middleman and it unfilters it. So you have viewers building a personal connection with these creators because you're speaking directly to them now. And it's easy. You literally can pick up your phone and send out a tweet, and it can be viewed by thousands of people within seconds. So social media is a powerful tool. It's just a matter of understanding it, and in a lot of ways, we still are understanding it, and that's what esports has done. Is esports has taken it and pushed it in ways that we never could see 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm. That's the beauty of it all, in my opinion. Cutting out the middleman, being able to, in a way, speak directly to that person, because now you feel that content creator or that team or whoever it may be. In traditional sports, you may feel you know them because you follow them on the social medias and stuff, but I feel in the esports industry, especially because of the connection on social media, you feel like you know that person. Like you go up to them and in some cases know almost everything about them. And you can relate to them on like a more personal level than you would like an NBA
Yeah.
player or NFL player.
And a perfect example is, like just a short story. I went to a Grizzlies versus Timberwolves game about 5 or 6 years ago, and I was sitting courtside, and I mean I was sitting close enough to the players where if I wanted to, I could have thrown my drink on them. That's how close I was sitting to them.
Yeah, let's not do that.
No, obviously not. But Ricky Rubio was there, and he was warming up on the court, and I was being an obnoxious fan for my little brother who was too shy to say anything and was trying to get his attention, so he was sign my little brother's shirt, right? Well, that was as close as I will ever get to connecting with him on a personal level, right?
Yeah.
Whereas in esports, my favorite esports player of all time is hands down Optic Scumpy. Like I love Scump. I watch him every time he streams, and I've been watching him since Advanced Warfare, since I picked up on esports. Well, you can watch a stream and donate him $1, and he'll read it. He'll read your comment and talk to you personally, or he'll read his chat and talk to you personally. And it feels like on a in that situation, it feels more personal being able to watch him and talk to him in real time and have him respond than it ever did actually like meeting famous athletes. Like I met all the Memphis Grizzlies, felt very impersonal, and they were just like, hey, blah blah blah. We're just here shaking hands because we're getting paid to. But it feels like in esports, when you're talking, or not just in esports, but in like you said, in the content creation version of it, if you're watching somebody stream and you're talking to them in real time, it just feels a lot more personal. Like you said, it feels like you're actually getting to know them. Like you could write a life story about them because they share a lot of personal stuff on stream, and they'll open up to viewers and stuff like that. Whereas professional traditional athletes wouldn't do the same thing.
Yeah, the only way you have a look into traditional athletes is, watching their games, and then if there's a documentary about them, or a news interview or whatever. But with content creators, you have a direct, raw look into their life. Like you can go and see their vlogs on their channel, and you can know all about their life in the past 5 years. So that builds a connection with viewers, and I think that's why like people don't understand why people watch people play video games, and maybe not even video games, just content creators like vloggers and stuff like that. Like, why do you care so much about somebody else's life that you're gonna sit there and watch their vlog every day? And it's like, it's not really like that. It's like, yeah, I may never meet this person in real life, but you, in a way, like, they're talking into that camera to you, like you said, like you're directly speaking with them at some level, and like about their inner life. So there's
a prime example would literally just be look at the four of us.
Yeah.
Like if we hadn't have met each other, like where would we be? Like kind of thing, right?
Yeah, I mean, like that's another thing on its own. It's just like the people you meet, because it's like I'm in North Georgia, and it's like the modern era isn't exactly here yet, you know what I mean? Like, it's not Silicon Valley where it's, people are caught up with the times with the internet and social media and that hustle on its own. Here, it's very blue collar and, chicken factories and agriculture. And so, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not in that world, but through the internet and through social media, I'm able to connect with people that see the world as I see it with esports or with social media and that side of the world, basically. And so like you meet people through that you would never meet in your life, like where you're at.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I've met some, I think, like lifelong friends. I've learned some great lessons. Like I've learned some skills that even if I wasn't gonna work in the esports industry, I didn't want to do that, I could transfer that into like corporate communications for anything like that. I learned to edit off of YouTube. I learned like communication skills like by talking to people and playing video games. Like leadership skills and strategy by playing video games. Like the internet, in my opinion, is like the best teacher, and you can learn so much and meet so many people and learn from you because like you're on the internet. It's available almost anywhere, so you can meet people from all corners of the world. Like us, again, as a perfect example. Yeah, we're all from different corners of the earth. and we can learn about different walks of life and everything like that.
Well, it's
Just
like,
different takes on it.
here's my honest opinion. Like, with the internet now, like, okay, so take Tier 1 apparel, right? So this is kind of like a good example, but, Tier 1 apparel, obviously still early stages, but I knew absolutely nothing about, like, starting a business. I knew absolutely nothing about custom merchandise or the printing process or, having an online presence with a business or anything like that. So, like, what I literally had to do over 2 years ago is research that and go into Google and literally look that up myself. Because that's something that's with the internet and social media now, you can literally go and look up anything and learn anything you want to. And it's like my honest opinion with certain things is if you know how to play social media and you know how to play content in this day and age, like, you don't need any schooling. Like, if you know how to play technology today, then you'll be perfectly fine. I think if you seriously know how to play social media and how to play the internet, then you'll be more successful than going to school for 4 years doing a business management degree. That's why you have a lot, like, we have more young CEOs and owners nowadays than we do or than we ever have, because it's so easy for younger people to access information. You no longer have to have like a mentor, or you no longer have to start from the very bottom in a business to learn things. So you have all these young people that have access to the information. Oh God, what?
No, Twitter.
Oh, okay. But you do have all, like, with social media and everything, you have access to all this information that you never would before, and that's why you see all these young guys make, businesses that we've never seen and tech companies that we've never seen, because they're young, they understand social media, they understand the internet, and they know how to play it.
Yeah, it's all about playing your cards right, honestly. It's just an advantage that I feel like the younger and newer generations have. I've been over that like many times in my entrepreneurial thinking class. Everyone we've discussed the importance of social media and like your I want to say like social footprint or something like that, or online footprint.
Yeah.
Just like knowing your way around the internet is a key to that, so that you know how to you know the audience you need to play for, and you need to become familiar with the audience. You need to know how to read your audience so you can better get your message across and everything. So like a third one tonight, third, fourth.
Oh no, he drinks them like water every night.
Jeez.
I mean, it basically is water, so.
What is it?
It's stronger than what you drink.
I'm drinking Gatorade. I guarantee you, it's stronger than my
Hell, it's
Gatorade.
stronger.